Okay, so I just came from an unveiling of the new Corvette, and although I was very impressed with it being a mid-engine, nice car, I started thinking about what else you could spend your money on that would, still be a pretty good investment, especially stuff that maybe has already taken that depreciation off the table. And one of them that comes to mind is a Lotus Evora. So why not? You're talking about a car that ran around 75,000 to start. These days, if you go to buy one, you're going to spend about $100,000 on it, on the same car almost. And you've got a Camry motor in it, so you can tell everybody you bought a Camry. Tell your mom you made the proper decision in buying a Toyota, and she'll never know the difference, right? So as an investment, you can get them for about 35,000. Will they really depreciate much more than that? I highly doubt it. You're not going to find this car for 10 grand in the future. I think it's a nice car to own, a nice car to enjoy, and then if you want to move on, you really won't lose much money on it. So stick with me while we check out the Lotus Evora. So the Lotus Evora was launched in 2008, and although there were 3 other names in the mix, Evora stood for evolution, and like all Lotus models before it, it had to start with the letter E. Construction was all aluminum, or aluminium, with a steel subframe to accommodate the Toyota 3.5-liter V6, pumping out 276 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 258 foot-pounds of torque at 4,600 RPM, giving you a 0 to 60 time of about 4.8 seconds on a curb weight a little over 2,700 pounds and a 6-speed manual. Now in 2010, the Lotus S was released, giving you the same 3.5-liter V6, but supercharging it to 345 horsepower and giving it a 295 foot-pounds of torque at 4,500 RPM. Now that gives you a modest improvement in 0 to 60 of 4.4 seconds. So if you combine that with a forged aluminum double wishbone suspension and performance dampers, this car is just a missile in the turns. Now, it was assembled in England, where it ought to be, and designed by Russell Carr. It had to accommodate taller drivers, especially since the CEO, Mike Kimberly, was 6 foot 5 inches, which explained why the first time I got in the car, I felt like I was not crammed in a tight space at all. So as we make our way to the interior, you have nice red contrast stitching, all nice soft touch. You have these wide sills you have to crawl over. Aluminum pedals with your Evora floor mats, red contrast stitching on the seats with the insignia on the back. Actually a very comfortable seat. Now crawling in is a little bit of a task getting over the wide sill, but once you're in you have plenty of room and you actually feel like you're not cramped in the car. I like the steering wheel with its cushion grips at a 10 and 2 position and the Lotus insignia on the gauges. This one just has a basic radio, but you could get a nice touch screen in there if you wanted. Yeah, you have all your climate right in front of the shifter. This one has the 6-speed manual, but you can get a automatic in the cars. The sun visor, you have a mirror for the passenger. The driver gets nothing. And you have, amongst other buttons, your important sport mode button there, along with a little bit of useless storage. You have red contrast stitching and nice soft touch that runs along the dash with your airbag. Passenger seat is exactly the same. All of its manual adjustment, along with some contrast stitching and leather on your arm support. And a little bit of storage in the rear in place of, if you got the 2+2, you'd have rear seats back there. So while the new Evora GT or Evora 400 will run you close to $100,000, these older versions can be had for a bargain. And you're getting a track day ready car with a full interior. You're getting something different than your average Mustang or Camaro or Corvette or something, even a Challenger that we see every day on the streets. Now this is for somebody, this is more of an enthusiast somebody who's looking for something totally different than the masses. Thanks for watching.